You're listening to the Chartographers.
It's a music-loving podcast for music-loving people. I'm Evan Sadi. You might know me as the editor of Pop Matters. What is it this time?
You're just especially squeaky this time.
Squeaky?
I'm Evan Sadi!
Yeah, because I sound like an anthropomorphic cartoon character.
That was a really good impression of what you just sounded like. Don't even.
So I'm Evan Sadi.
I'm Taran O'Reilly.
You might know me as an editor of Pop Matters. You probably know me as host of this podcast. Taran, of course, is the co-creator of the podcast. And as we've noticed in multiple podcasts, the person who tries to keep me in line, successful, I would say, probably for the most part.
I can only do so much retroactively.
Exactly. And I'm the one editing it too, which is why all my work. Why does everyone say I'm cool in every podcast? I edit it together. It's podcast trickery.
You got all the dumbest shit you say.
Speaking of people who manipulate the media really well, today we are talking about one of the most important, iconic, incredible pop artists to ever live. That's right. We're talking about the comb-broad controversy stylist that is Madonna. Madonna, I mean, she has had, what she's done to pop culture and what a pop idol is and is not allowed to do, very little on the is not allowed, is incredible, and we need to discuss it, and there is a long discography we needed to touch, and listen, Taran and I, we dug into the archives, we dug up every single Madonna song that has ever existed, we've poured through it all, but you know what, we realized something at the end of the day, we can't do it alone, we need a special guest, and I knew just the person, our savior, our magical... I was going to say comb-broad savior, but I used comb-broad already, so I'm not going to do it.
At night.
At night.
Our local Madge expert.
Exactly.
Madge-spurt.
The magician.
That's after midnight.
The magician. That's right, local Chicago actor and dear friend, Jerico Bleu! Jerico! How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great, guys. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. This is, of all, here's the thing. You talked to us around the time that the very first episode of Chartographers debuted.
I think so, yeah.
And you were talking about, we should do a Madonna podcast. We're like, great, I love the idea, but we had to put it down because little did we know that we would still be doing this, months after we did it, and that we've had the response that we've had to it. So there are literally, and I mean this truly, dozens of people just waiting to see what we're going to do when we rank Madonna's discography. That's right. And we're going to rank every album, but there's so much to go through, so let's just start going into it, because it's a discussion that happens along the way. And when you talk about Madonna, we're really talking about essentially 14 core albums. And let's just go over them.
I think I would even venture to say that there are 13 core albums.
I was going to say 13.
And we're going to include one of her soundtracks, because it's all Madonna.
Okay, so
okay,
so let's talk about real quick. There's her 1983 debut dance album, the self-titled Madonna. There's her kind of girly mainstream breakthrough, 1984's Like a Virgin. There was the much more formalized version of that, 1986's True Blue. There is her controversy rivaling and still mega hit Like a Prayer from 1989. There is the actually let's move on a little quick to her soundtrack to her book Erotica from 1992. The not as bad soundtrack to her book, kind of, 1994's Bedtime Stories, her electronica mainstream breakthrough Ray of Light from 1998, her big massive pop hit from 2000 Music, her less successful Bush-era protest pop album American Life from 2003, the hardcore Eurodisco reintroduction of 2005's Confessions on a Dance Floor, the Pharrell album that she sings on called Hard Candy in 2008, the really shitty EDM album that she put out in 2012 called MDNA, and the, hey, she's still relevant 2015 album.
This is actually
Rebel
pretty good.
Heart, exactly. Not that we're going to give away our rankings too early on, but there's that. But the thing is that when we talk about it, of course, when we talk about qualifiers, we can talk about those 13 core albums pretty successfully. But then there's the issue of Madonna's soundtracks, because Madonna loves Hollywood. She's wanted to break in for some time. She's married Guy Ritchie, the film director. She's married Sean Penn. That ended. There's another podcast. If you listen to You Must Remember This, which is this wonderfully detailed archive podcast which talks about kind of old school film tabloid history and kind of the goings on behind the scenes. It's really great. And there's a whole 2-part series about Madonna in Hollywood. And when they talk about her marriage to Sean Penn, oh my fucking god, the way that shit ended, him tying her to a chair and and you're just like, what the fuck am I listening to? This is actually what happened.
You know, Like a Prayer, the whole Death to Us Part song.
Yeah, so Death to Us Part and Oh Father are both very clearly
very
about
Sean
him.
Yes.
Penn.
Yeah. So
which is, oh my god.
There is that. And she's been in Desperately Seeking Susan. She's been in Who's That Girl? She's been in, of course, Swept Away, and was the swim instructor in Die Another Day, the James Bond movie.
Let's not forget A League of Their Own.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
How could we? How could we possibly forget A League
When
of
you bring the
Their
gays together and they don't mention A League of Their Own, it's not even a gay meeting at that point. But really, it's admission before you get into the club. But really, the other thing we need to talk about, there are 2 notable soundtracks that probably qualify potentially as albums. One, of course, is her soundtrack to her starring role in the Warren Beatty comic book adaptation, Dick Tracy. She played the character of Breathless, who, spoiler, she's actually the bad guy at the end. She kills people. It's called I'm Breathless. And a lot of people know it as the album that Vogue is from, even though Vogue is very much an outlier.
See, I feel like a lot of people think that Vogue is just from Immaculate Collection.
Yes.
And totally forget about I'm Breathless, but it was originally
totally on there.
included.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it says
on
right
the sticker
there,
on the cover,
inspired by songs from and inspired by.
Because
Vogue was not.
You had a bonus single. You threw it on there.
Vogue was not inspired by Dick Tracy.
Maybe by Dick, but not Tracy. So, and then last but not least, there's of course her Golden Globe winning but not Oscar nominated role in the movie Evita. And that, of course, she did the soundtrack to that, most famously Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. But I would argue that we don't include that one for the main reason we've discounted Beyonce, we've discounted like a lot of other artists for the same reason.
Kanye,
you're prominently featured on it, but you're not really the primary artist. We can argue I'm Breathless because she does every fucking song on that.
Wrote a bunch of new songs for it too. Like she and.
And there was 2 studio hits. You know, there was Hanky Panky, and there was if you want to call that a hit.
Emphasis on was.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a terrible song.
Anyway,
So,
all right, cool.
But also, what was the other one?
Vogue.
No, and Sooner or Later.
Oh yeah.
Also,
but that was a cover though, right?
No, it wasn't a cover. It was written for the movie.
Okay, I thought it was. Oh, maybe by other writers, not by
there
Madonna.
are.
Right.
She performs a couple songs in the movie, and those are the Sondheim songs.
Right.
There's like
okay,
3 Sondheim songs on there, and that's why they're there, is because they were actually.
Was that on Billboard's Hot 100?
Yeah.
It was.
Was it?
Sooner or later, I think it charted in the top 20. It wasn't a hit. But they released it as a single after they first promoted the album with Vogue.
Interesting.
We're going to go into the gay archives here. Again, you have to talk about A League of Your Own to get in.
Also, while we're discounting albums, I think it's worth mentioning that she wrote and recorded 4 original songs for the Who's That Girl soundtrack, which are actually kind of fun.
Oh, it's damn good. Yeah. Causing a Commotion.
It's such a fun song.
Such a good one.
She sings 4 out of 11
songs.
10
something.
So not a Madonna album.
Therefore, sorry.
And also, while we're discounting things, she has put out, I want to say, 4 greatest hits compilations that all had original songs on them.
Yeah, Immaculate Collection being the most famous one. Although Immaculate Collection is a misnomer because even though it went diamond and sold billions of copies, almost every single version on that album is the single quote unquote. Or remix
versions, not even single versions.
Yeah,
new remixed versions on Immaculate Collection, and I think she did the same thing.
Not a lot of people remember the horns on the original album version of "Express Yourself," but
she did the same thing. Something to Remember, her ballad compilation has a couple new songs on it, and it also
this used to be my playground, being the most probably famous one out of it.
It has terrible remixes of a bunch of her ballads in her career up to that point.
Greatest Hits Volume 2, and then there's Celebration with the William Orbit song, with the Paul Oakenfold.
We also have
feature. Oh god, that was so bad.
We also have the rarely known You Can Dance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That has the short-lived Spotlight single on it. That is kind of catchy, but very, very early.
Okay.
Also remixed and revisited.
Which
another has isn't it Your Honey?
Your Honesty,
Your
which
Honesty.
was an outtake from Bedtime Stories, which should have made the album. It was upbeat. It was a good one.
But listen, guys, we're 10 minutes in, and we're not even at our bottom ranking yet. We have a lot of match to get through. Yeah, exactly. This is all cutting and floor material. So, guys, listen. We have 14 albums. Real quick, Madonna, Like a Virgin, True Prayer, True Blue, Like a Prayer, I'm Breathless, Erotica, Bedtime Stories, Ray of Light, Music, American Life, Confessions on the Dance Floor, Hard Candy, MDNA, and Rebel Heart are the albums. If you didn't catch any of that, hit it in slow motion. Guys, we have 14 albums to rank, and so here comes the real question, and I really want to toss it to Jericho. Jericho, we're ranking the albums.
Worst to
What's the
best.
worst Madonna album?
For me, and it's gonna be a controversial one.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm ready for it.
Hard Candy was a low. Hard Candy was a low for me. Here's why.
Yeah, please.
Here's why. Because, is it well-crafted music? Yes. If that album was released by, let's say, Estelle or Janelle Monáe, I think it would have been sensational. It's got some cool beats in it. She does her whole thing where she's like, okay, let's bring complexity and emotions to pop music. And we've got some decent ones on there. Heartbeat, still listen to it. It just doesn't fit on her skin. It doesn't. I don't ever want to listen to it. And who in whatever meeting told her, you know what? Let's dress you as a boxer and put you
on the
cover with this cheap ass, like mind-numbing pink candy background. The album cover is terrible.
Okay, the album cover is not great, but she has some bad.
She has some clunkers.
Covers.
Are you saying there's some clunkers? There's Spanish lesson doesn't do it for you.
See, no, okay, Spanish lesson. Also, my problem with Spanish lesson. I wasn't even gonna go there yet, but oh my god, it's all wrong. Do not learn Spanish from Madonna because you will not be able to speak Spanish.
She's tried Spanish multiple times throughout her career.
I mean, she's been obsessed with Spain since like, where was her first song about Spain? It was on True Blue. So her third album, she's been singing about Spain, and then, but she's still, it's all wrong. Anyway, but the thing about Hard Candy for me is like, at least it's fun. There are some bad songs on there, but at least I'm enjoying listening to it. And yeah, you're totally right. She's not a good fit for Pharrell, and
definitely not a good fit for Timbaland.
Really? Because I think that the Timberlake songs on there are the best parts, because like the Pharrell tracks, there's two in a row. I think it's Incredible. No, it's She's Not Me and Incredible. They're both over 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're like they're going, and you're like, okay, this isn't the worst. And then Pharrell has sections on both of them, and Pharrell is a really bad singer. He just is. There's a reason that he has been on the edges of fame for 2 decades until he finally had his own hit. It's because he's not a good singer.
Well, I would also like to posit something out there where I feel like with Hard Candy, Madonna did something that she doesn't usually do, because I'll give Madonna credit where credit is due. She's really good about picking out hot new talent and bringing them into her world.
New talent.
See, this is where, I knew that was going to come up, and here's where I thought there was the slip in Madonna. And this Hard Candy was definitely a turn for me, because I felt like Madonna always in the past was good at sixth synthing. That will be the next album.
By the way, Bruce Willis in the Sixth Synth. Don't play that,
That's so hard to say.
Pondering who's going to be the next hot thing, and then incorporating them. This was her being like, this is
popular.
Justin Timberlake brought him.
Yeah.
And then he did stuff with like Aaliyah in the late 90s, and then Nelly Furtado, Loose had came out. So this was Madonna being like, I need to be relevant, and it didn't stick for me. What makes her iconic and what makes her an independent, strong woman, I didn't feel that was at all there. I was hearing music that said Madonna on it, but it didn't feel like I was listening to her.
Okay, but see, the thing is for me is that I feel like that's even stronger on MDNA.
Okay, guys, we're getting into it. Let's talk about MDNA. Let's talk about
I
MDNA.
think
Is that your nominee for 14, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because MDNA is, again, I think it has some, like, kind of fun songs on it. Gimme Your Lovin' is a terrible song.
L-U-V
Madonna!
Like,
but it's a terrible song, but I kind of like it anyway.
No.
Like, which, fair. Totally understand that opinion.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it anyway. But there's, like, after Hard Candy, she had a hit off of it, but I think she definitely heard from her fans. They were like, this isn't Madonna. So she was like, great, I'll work with William Orbit again.
Yeah.
You know, it's been, I think, a decade since I've recorded with him, and that'll be good to go back to that sound, except that he had clearly lost his touch because every single song that she co-wrote with him on that album is terrible, and thank God she called Benny Benassi and Martin Solveig, because they recorded the only listenable things on that album and saved it from saved it from complete mediocrity.
See,
in my
I
opinion.
think 100%. No, I'm gonna meet you middle ground here.
Okay.
Benassi was a good choice. The reason she didn't work with him longer is he can't speak English and she can't speak Italian, and so
despite the fact that she would like to, let's be real.
Like we all heard, sorry.
She speaks Italian and sorry.
Yeah, no.
And so like his
You're
brother
making
or
a
something
face.
had to come in and she was like, well, this is annoying, and I was like, granted, that's fine.
His brother gets production credits on it.
Yeah,
I think for that
good
reason.
for him.
Because
For me, MDNA and it is a close tie. It is a close tie. So whatever we go with, I'll back.
Yeah.
I don't listen to either of them. But the thing
this
with
is the magician right here, and he's admitting that right here in front of us.
What killed me about MDNA is that I feel that there was moments on there that could have been amazing. It was obvious that she was more concerned with producing WE than finishing that album. She wasn't fully there.
WE.
Yeah, that Wallace and Edwards movie that she was making exactly
God,
at the same time.
I forgot about that shit. Right.
And her mind was in that. She was like, I need to produce an album so the fags will shut up.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Well, yeah, he just did. Here's the other thing I want to point out, though, is that I feel like she has reinvented what it means. She's been very predictive, not only in terms of hiring new producing talent, but also the direction of dance music. Because Taran, when we were going through this journey, because we do Research Week heavily before every episode.
Yeah.
We dive into every fucking detail and aspect of it. And when Ray of Light came out, Taran was doing some research. It's like, wait, a lot of people say this introduced electronic music into the mainstream.
A couple different critics were saying that Ray of Light introduced electronica to the mainstream, and I was like, is this real? Are we able to credit her with that? And then Evan was like, go ahead and look up the Billboard charts and even the dance charts from that year. And it was totally accurate. There was nothing that sounded like that. And
but
in fact,
yeah.
Oh, but Moby, sure.
Yeah.
But Moby's
not a known commercial entity.
Not mainstream.
And for her to do that.
But it was also funny because on the dance charts, I was like, I mean, obviously I don't know some of these, but some of the ones I do know, calling them a dance hit is a stretch. So the fact that this was as huge as it was and was so successful in 1998. Right. Anyway,
that was a big deal. And so then she did that once. She did it again with Confessions on a Dance Floor, which really helped predict the Eurodisco trend that wound up taking over. But then it took over, and MDNA feels like, well, I created this, so I want to be a part of this. And keep in mind, she didn't actually fucking create it, but she at least felt responsible for introducing it to a degree.
Introduced it to America.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, despite the fact that Hung Up was one of her biggest ever hits that she had, especially much later in her career, Confessions on a Dance Floor never really generated the same sales. So MDNA feels like a deliberate counter move to that, where it's just like, okay, you want hardcore dance? I'm going to give you the hardcore dance instead of what I feel like.
It's got elements that could have been so great, because there is the dubstep in there. There is the ED dubstep, whatever.
Yeah.
But there are elements. It just doesn't feel completed. If she eventually, in a million years, comes out and Lourdes, creeps to an interview mic and says, MDNA, It was all demos. I will rise from the grave because I will be alive.
Right. But here's the other thing, though. I will say is that when I mentioned it during the rundown and when I was thinking of my dumb, quirky things to say, when I say that Hard Candy is the album that feels like Madonna singing over a Pharrell album, yeah, I hear the Pharrell productions, I don't hear Madonna's voice, and on MDNA, even with some of the shit that's on there, gangbang, I want to talk about how it genuinely... there's at least her trying or at least attempting to have a voice. And I feel like the most recent album, Rebel Heart, she does
it's
have
back.
a voice.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
not
voice
like
is
the
back,
same
totally.
level, but therefore I kind of don't... Keep in mind, in our format, for those who don't listen for the first time, 2 people can outvote 1, but we're not assholes. We're going to, like, understand and be swayed by other people's arguments. But I'm just going to call it right here. Guys, let's put Hard Candy at number 14. Let's put MDNA at number 13. Can we do that? Or we feel good about that?
Sure.
I feel
Sure.
pretty okay about that. So let's go ahead and lock it in place. And in that case, we started out with our dear, dear guest. So now, Taran, what would you put at number 12? Yeah.
It's hard after this point. Those were the clear, obvious.
Even Madonna fans were like,
And this part is obvious, but like this...
Is it? We'll see.
The
Well, for
top,
me it is.
well, I at least I at least know which albums are going to be up there. I don't know what order they're in yet. But
Fair.
actually, I'm going to say True Blue.
Oh, now, guy, listen, I'm telling you, here's the thing about the Chartographers. We know there are people who listen to us, they interact with us, they chat with us a whole bunch, which is great and awesome, we encourage it. But then there are people that they will just offer their opinion whenever we talk about an artist. Well, if I was on this podcast, I would have put Berbeder at Berbeder.
And actually, I kind of love that.
Exactly.
I don't know what Evan's about to say.
It's just like, well, listen, you're wrong about Yellow Submarine being the number 1 Beatles album, but sure, I'll hear your argument. But at the same time, there's a lot of people just like, I literally had a conversation today with a future guest who says like, oh, I can't wait to hear it, but listen, if True Blue's not in the top 3, I'm gonna be really angry.
Wait, someone actually said that?
Yes. Yes.
That blows my goddamn mind. Because True Blue, Papa Don't Preach and Open Up Your Heart are 2 amazing pop singles. Not questioning that. Mm-hmm. But then after that, I don't know, it just stops really. This is late 80s, or I mean, I guess it's still mid 80s.
It's mid-80s.
But it's post Billy Joel's 60s like doo-wop revival. And you can really hear that in this album. You can hear it on True Blue.
Fair.
You can hear it on Jimmy Jimmy. And it just does nothing for me.
Jimmy.
Just, right. Jimmy also has one of her most troubling lines for me, where she says, "Daddy told me I just needed a good licking." And I thought that this song was about
abuse.
See, I'm from the South, so I never would have thought...
But this is Madonna that's interpreting it, so it has...
Just because Madonna, everything Madonna writes is so sexual that I was like, I didn't even think of it as like a beating. I totally was like, I'm sorry, your dad told you needed to get living out?
I never would have, See, I'm used to Madonna being more like, let's put it frank on the table, like grab your raincoats, it's starting to rain.
Yeah, this is just like the December's episode where you don't know if the song's about rape or death or marriage or joy. It's one of those things.
I personally think True Blue is a masterpiece and at least one of my top 4.
Really?
See, here's why for me.
Okay, walk us through it.
Because you have Madonna, you have Like a Virgin. It could have easily been over after those 2 albums.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It could have been over. She had the same look going. The sound kind of evolved. But it
really is like
it's Madonna
like
Part 2. Yeah. It's like, I'm taking it further. I'm being a little bit more confident. But it is. It's kind of the same album. I can't imagine what it was to be a girl 16 and then True Blue drops. She chops that hair off. She has this amazing like blonde...
Very Marilyn inspired.
Barely Marilyn inspired, and this completely new mature sound. She starts kind of writing, and it has her vocal quality on this one, has this kind of like raspiness that's never seen again. And it's like, okay, let's have an opening single about how I am gonna be in a very conservative world and keep my baby when my friends say I should have an abortion. What? Like, I just feel like there are some classics on there. I feel like it's when Madonna actually switched over to her own brand and became a new thing. I have the vinyl at my house, and I can... There's some
Do you give it a good licking?
Oh, boy, do I. With
My tongue is the needle in the grooves. I'm just saying.
Like, granted, there's some cheap-ass 80s sounding music. Like,
Right.
Make the Love Go Round, or
So
whatever
that's-
it's called.
Yeah, Love Makes the World Go Round, and like...
Fucking Jimmy.
Even
Sorry.
Where's the Party is like a really fun song, but
Kinda
it's a
filler.
nothing fillery
Yeah.
like dance fun track.
Yeah.
I guess I hear what you're saying
It hasn't
in
aged.
1986, but it hasn't aged well, and especially when you have the album after that, which is like a prayer, that is such a huger reinvention that I think as someone who like got into Madonna more recently, True Blue really fits with those first two with me.
I feel like I would agree with because I agree with your
is a great
statement and how, and then Like a Prayer and how great that was. Yes, because it was on the upslope.
Mm-hmm.
If we had Like a Prayer and it's like, this is what you're capable of, and then she gave us erotica, it's gonna be like, oh, okay. I don't feel like we could have had Like a Prayer if we didn't have the stepping stone of True Blue, because also one of my favorites, Live to Tell. Like, it's this ballad that's really dramatic and emotional, and I think it's great. I think it's a great album.
Live to Tell definitely grew on me. The first time I heard it, it did nothing for me, but then listening to it as I did, listening to all of the albums like a bunch of times this week, it definitely, it's grown on me. But I think it also falls into, especially early in her career like this, and I definitely have problems with some of the vocal takes on Like a Prayer too, but on True Blue and Like a Virgin and Madonna,
Especially Madonna.
she has all of the hallmarks of like textbook bad singer. Like, she's really nasal, her throat is totally tight, she's not supporting, and it's like, so it's like, as someone who's so into like critiquing vocal technique, it cheapens, especially then when you add the bad 80s synths to it, like it sort of cheapens the experience.
Right, and the one I think that's the biggest thing about it is the fact that while it was certainly iconic, and there's a lot of people that truly do love it as an emotional piece. Again, part of the reason when we do our ranking is we're not talking about necessarily their influence, but how do they stand up today? Because every time I listen to any of these motherfucking albums, when you do these, I'm always amazed and stunned by some of the revelations that I have, and like that disappointment I feel
you
on
always
certain
change
albums.
your mind.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, so much. And here's the thing: I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna make. True Blue's not gonna rank very highly for me. But my counterpoint I want to make out is why would we put True Blue at number 12 and not say American Life?
Right. I was actually about to say, we're clearly not putting True Blue here. Let's move on. So yeah.
Jericho.
My pick for 12 would
Guys, this is amazing
be
debates.
Madonna.
The self-titled.
The self-titled.
Really?
Oh, I
Really?
knew.
Oh!
Miguel, what did I tell you?
Oh my god. Why? Why?
Because it doesn't do anything for me. Holiday's fun. You know, Burning Up is fun. Physical Attraction, they're fun. But if we want to get into an album that takes you out of it because of cheap 80s synth, it's definitely that one.
See, okay, so I want to talk about this because I feel like there's something about 80s synths that we need to talk about. I feel like there's this line where 80s synths go from dated to cheesy. And I feel like Madonna's albums were released during the continuity of that
course.
line.
Right.
Because when I hear Madonna the self-titled, it is very dated. When I hear, I mean, the thing is that when they take a bit of the
That's
synths,
exactly. Sorry, finish.
yes, like you hear the sense of Holiday, and it's just like, okay, this is clearly an 80s song, but that fucking groove is so killer on that. Dum, dum,
So that's the difference for me, is that exactly what you just said, and I hadn't thought of it in those terms before. Madonna sounds dated, True Blue sounds cheesy.
Yes, and the thing is, there are moments on True Blue that are just fucking killer, right?
There are moments on True Blue that are better than anything on Madonna.
Because honestly, I thought, for the longest time, I thought Open Your Heart was really cheesy, but when I was going through on this list, I'm like, that's a pretty sturdy-ass song, right?
Great song.
Legit.
It's a great song.
Legit,
no,
exactly.
that's easily my favorite song on True Blue. And so that's the thing for me, is that, like, especially, like, when because she does the Spanish thing for the first time here on La Isla Bonita, and I just hate it. And it's like a fine song, but then when she adds the vocal affectation to it, I can't stand it.
What?
And so I'm not gonna let you put Madonna at 12.
Well, here's the other thing, though. But here's the other thing, is that I feel like we're talking about how True Blue, sometimes those synths can be a little bit too cheesy, and they're a little bit dated there, and Like a Virgin falls kind of right in the middle, which is around the time, because even though vocally she was still kind of in the same state, Madonna, the album, she was very much, I'm a dance singer. And you gotta keep in mind, it came out 1 year before Cyndi Lauper did.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, and when She's So Unusual was a huge hit. It was nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about when Cyndi Lauper debuted, you need to keep in mind, like, Madonna debuted in 1983, and Cyndi Lauper debuting the year after that was huge, because the 80s at that point hadn't really created a wholly distinct sound for itself.
Yeah,
because
it was kind of a holdover from the synthy disco.
Exactly, because disco
end.
ended and Michael Jackson took over around 81, 82, and that's when that sound became so bigger, but there was never truly a female counterpart to that end. And so Madonna, the self-titled album, is very much, here I am as a dance singer, and there is personality, but then you hear what Cyndi Lauper did, and side note, Cyndi Lauper, She's So Unusual, 4 of the 10 songs are covers, okay? So it's like hard to even call it like a legitimate album, including like Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She rewrote that song, and also does a Prince cover on there. Prince comes up a lot in our podcast, guess why? And then I feel like, almost not as a deliberate counteraction, but the thing I like about Like a Virgin, there are songs that sound kind of cheesy, but when I hear those cheesy-ass little, like, guitar riffs on Material Girl or whatever, it's like she's adopting her persona of, like, I'm gonna be a little bit more girly. Instead of just, I'm dance singer, now she's just like, I'm a girly girl, but in my own way.
You can even see it on the album covers.
Yeah.
Self-titled, she's like, I'm like,
formal,
cool,
glamorous.
Which is one of my favorite albums.
I would agree with you.
It's
that.
It's just
her expression,
it's like not even her. It's just so 80s.
And
I love it.
but then, post Cyndi Lauper, she was like, oh, I can do girly pop.
Yeah.
And that's what Like a Virgin is. And the album covers totally show that.
And that's one of the great things about Like a Virgin, the song, is that, like, I'm dressing up like a girl, I'm in this wedding dress, and then I'm not a virgin, a guy. And, like, we talk about it now at the time. We talk about things that transcend time. That controversy that was ignited on there truly has transcended and been encapsulated.
That MTV performance.
Which was an accident.
Why?
What?
She tripped. She didn't mean to do that. She tripped and was like, I'm not just going to fall down on my first performance. I'm going to do something down here. And that's how the whole, like a virgin performed.
Oh my God,
She
really?
tripped. She tripped and was like, I'm going to get down here. I'm just going to go with this. And she goes backstage and her manager's like, oh, that's a cat. Okay.
So we'll break it in. Don't worry. They want to steal the Madonna records. Give them a licking.
We have it on tape.
Yeah.
Speaking of DNA Magazine.
So,
and her manager was like, oh, you're over. But then, like, her record sold everything. But back to, like, the point. Like, the Madonna album, I never listened to it. Like, I'll listen to Holiday, and I skip most of them. It's just,
I don't know Think of Me. You told me what Think of Me sounds like. I can't tell you. Right.
I love listening to Borderline. I think that's a great song. And that's one that I actually, like, already had on my iPod. Like,
yeah. Legit. Well, here's the other thing. So I think, side note, and for the record for you guys, like, even though this is an intense discussion, I'm loving this discussion a lot. So much. Yeah. So my question is we're talking about kind of the weaker moments here. So my challenge to you, Jericho, is that I'm willing to go with Taran on True Blue for number 12, unless... Oh, not?
No, I mean...
After we talked about it?
We should talk about American Life before we
gladly. All right, let's talk about American Life. So American Life, after music and Ray of Light and music are two different things. While Ray of Light, a lot of people argue more innovative, music was a fucking hit. It has some of the most just joyous, immediate pop hits and surprising amounts of depth. And let me just tell you briefly. This is I was vacationing in Hawaii with my family, and it was my dad, my stepmom, and my grandma. We were all in the car, and I had this album on CD. I had my little CD player with it, and I'm sitting in the backseat with my grandma, and I heard previously from my parents that she hated Madonna. Because I'm sure, because again, she's a much older woman, and I'm sure she's just like, oh, this little sassy slut. And so I put on the CD and I played. I think it was "Gone," one of the last songs on there.
Gorgeous.
This acoustic song, this really nice song.
Yeah, really pretty.
And she played it. Just saying, hey, Grandma, what do you think of this? She goes, oh, I think it's rather nice. It's good. And I just, you want to know who it is? Who? Madonna. Oh, she was just so shocked and upset. How dare I besmirch her ears with Madonna? It was amusing. I was amused. I was a kid. But and that was such a huge thing. And so around the time 2002, 2003, post September 11th, shockingly in pop culture, there was a lot of antagonistic feelings towards the Bush administration, especially following everything that we learned about September 11th and the invasion of Iraq that followed. And a lot of people in the entertainment industry wanted to make a point out of that. The most famous example, of course, from a lot of people had various songs here and there, but some people turned it into art. 2004's American Idiot by Green Day was the best examination and the best possible iteration of what that art could be, and they reinvented themselves 100% as a band in the process. And a year before Madonna tried to do that, she had a song called American Life. She had a very controversial music video where she's like in a gold tank and just tossing out grenades.
That was pulled.
It was pulled, so that if you look it up on Vivo, the video that's here right now is her singing the song in front of various international flags.
I think you can find it now.
You can probably still find it, but the official video, quote unquote, is her in front of international flags as they go across her. It was like a 12-year-old's like Photoshop project.
Which I was pissed because you know me, back in the day, I found that video before it came out.
Damn right you did.
And
I
thought it was a good video. I didn't understand it at the time, but now that I am more political, I was like, man, this is. This is a statement.
And a lot of people very accurately pointed out that this is not a great album at the time, especially after the goodwill that came out of music.
It has some of her worst lyrics.
Mother and Father?
Like, in her whole... Oh my god, Mother and Father. Mother and Father is, like, nominated for worst Madonna song out of her whole discography.
And that is a tall glass of water.
By this point in her career, she had learned how to use her voice in a whole myriad of different ways, and you can hear it. And so, for some reason, on this one, on the verses, she decided to sing like this, and it's terrible. And then she does the goddamn rap verses, which is like ba-da, ba-da, da-da, da-da, which is never a
I
good...
drive my Mini Cooper and I'm feeling super duper.
Yo, they tell me I'm a trooper and you know I'm satisfied. I know it. Why do I know it?
But
I got
also,
made fun of in high school for rapping that.
Can you...
What?
I'm sorry,
What?
Do you know...
What? Wait, who were you rapping it at?
I got made fun of in high school because like I didn't know what to say to anybody, and a group of people were like, "Can you rap?" And they're like, "Freestyle," and I was like, "Okay." I drink a soy latte. I get a double latte. It goes up through my body and you know I'm satisfied. I grab my Mini Cooper and I'm feeling super duper. Yo, they tell me I'm a trooper and you know I'm satisfied. How I didn't get like a broom shoved up my ass right then. I don't know. Hashtag Tennessee.
Oh my god.
Wow.
But yeah, I do agree with that song. And here's
my daddy
another...
had to go to work. I thought that he was such a jerk.
I used to think he was a jerk. Okay. Why do I know it? I always like to tell myself in my mind that song features Eartha Kitt because that's what it sounds like she goes into when her voice does that high thing at the end. Oh, mother. Oh, I was like, that's Eartha Kitt right there.
But
Anyways.
here's the thing. There's like, I could actually take Hollywood. If you put me on a table of it, I could take it. I wouldn't like it, but I could take Hollywood. And then there's also the Gemco right on there, Love Profusion, which I think
like
they put out as a single way too late in the game, but that's like a really sturdy ass.
It's a fine, fun
Yeah.
song. It's not great though. That's the thing about American Life is while we're talking
It's
about
aggressively
these
not great.
We're talking about these other nominations for 12, and they at least have great songs on them. American Life doesn't have any song on it that makes me go, this is great. This is up there with the best songs she's ever written.
Here's my thing about American Life. And I went up and down with American Life, and like here's what I was telling Evan about it eons ago. That it's not a commercial album and it came out at the wrong time. It was not something America was ready for.
No,
it was
not.
political.
It actually wasn't, though.
It was political in a time where it was just like, we are just not ready to hear this right now.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I really like the album. It is definitely one that I'll just throw on. 2 years ago, I went on a road trip to Madison, Wisconsin. And Mikey and I just kind of like threw on the entire album and listened to it and really enjoyed it. It's not commercial. It never had a shot at selling well. It didn't sound like where music was going at the time.
Right.
But if you listen to her on that Matt Lauer, 3-day interview when this album came out, it was kind of like, I know this isn't going to sell well, but this is the sound and this is the music I want to make right now. It's a very indie, bare bones.
Yeah, it's very acoustic.
Very
at times.
acoustic.
And then she did the
no,
fucking...
her
Okay,
voice
but
isn't that well.
That's the other problem with it for me is that you can't say it's very acoustic and then include songs like Die Another Day and Ecstatic Process.
Ecstatic Process was completely acoustic.
And then, no, I'm thinking of the wrong
Nobody
thing
Knows
then.
Me. It was the really...
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is, for a Madonna album, it's very, here's my reflection on life right now. I'm getting out of America. I'm gonna go live in England. I can't deal with this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the Hollywood thing. I decided to play the game. And she says, this bird has flown. I'm getting out of there. And just talking about the becoming a mom and how things are changing for her. I agree. It's not an album for everybody, but for me, it's one of my top favorites. I just love it. There's some horrible parts in it.
And some horrible ports. It doesn't ship
No,
well. It's not a good export.
Whoo!
Yeah.
Mother, Father, not great. Die Another Day definitely was thrown in there just because it needed to be on an album to sell more. Honestly, American Life, it just sounds cheap. It sounds really cheap. But Intervention,
I do like Intervention.
Yeah,
I love
Intervention's
all
good, yeah.
the vocal things. It's just it's again to where it's okay, I'm Madonna. I'm not a great singer. Let me try all these vocal things overlapping each other and everything in ecstatic processing with an acoustic guitar that I learned how to do. And I
Okay.
thought it was pulled off very well.
Which was the song on here that had the vocal swell at the end with the chorus? Was that Ecstatic Process?
Yeah, well, what do you mean vocal swell at the end?
She brings in a gospel chorus.
Nothing Fails.
Oh!
Yeah.
Which I think
That's
is
on.
a
Yeah,
great
no, I like Nothing
song.
Fails a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. And I don't know why, because she released it as a song too, and I was like, I don't know why this isn't doing well, but if you look at the other music in this time, it didn't fit in. It didn't have a shot of doing well.
Okay. Now, I feel like the biggest dummy in the world. Here we are just having amazing substantive debates about what should go at number 12 out of 14. And somehow throughout all of this, I haven't mentioned I'm Breathless.
Oh.
I haven't. Why have I
I'd be
not?
fine with it going in 12.
Okay.
I'm Breathless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I'm going bananas. And,
Well, okay, now,
hanky-panky.
We gotta give a an umbrella for those because if anybody out there, half of you probably haven't listened to I'm Breathless. It's all written in the cabaret style.
Yeah. And it
It's
works
like a big
sometimes.
band.
Right.
Except
but there's some duds on there.
Yeah.
No. When they say some duds, you're understating it. And here's the thing about it is that she does the big band thing. She tries it, which is an amazing, great style for her to try out. But she then mixes it with modern production. So there's these very of the era, late '80s, early '90s synth pads mixing with this big band stuff on there, and it creates this weird kind of Again,
it doesn't feel right.
Right, it's that dated, cheesy, borderline that is just kind of borderline, that it's just kind of wandering through constantly. And it's terrible that it is that way, especially with the fucking Mandy Patinkin duet. But the thing about it is that not just because it has Vogue, listen to Madonna's vocals on it. I will tell you right now, I'm Breathless is not a great album. I'm telling you in all likelihood it's going to go in our number 12 spot. But what Madonna does with her voice on this album, even though the songs aren't good, she's trying characters. And she's trying different inflections and tones and
And I will note, I think probably even just from working with Mandy Patinkin and Stephen Sondheim, who wrote 3 of the songs on here, there's a huge difference in, I mentioned earlier, her vocal quality. There's a huge difference during and then after this album. I'm sure while recording this album, Stephen Sondheim was like, you may not sing this song like that. And like taught her how to produce a better sound, and it really it's really important.
But she told Andrew Lloyd Webber to rewrite the music to fit her voice, and he said, "No, fuck you, bitch. Learn how to sing it."
I think that's a direct
there
quote.
we go, Evita.
Are you saying that she was being a bit of a cry baby?
Well, and it's even more obvious after Evita though, because she like clearly took vocal lessons.
That's why
to
Ray of
sing
Light is
Evita.
so amazing, because
Yeah.
it's her at her vocal best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do the yoga for 2 years.
Pray to
and then do
Kabbalah
an album.
Monster. It'll all work out in the end.
We should
right.
all be singing with a red band.
All right, cool. So, guys, let's just go ahead. Let's lock in I'm Breathless down at number 12.
Wait, okay, sorry.
Wait.
I mean, lock it in. Go
Okay,
ahead, do the
got
thing. Before we move on from it, though, I just want to... I have to talk about... So, Vogue was written to be a B-side for, I think, Cherish? Like, one of the last singles that she was putting out from
Like a Prayer.
The record label wanted a B-side, so she wrote Vogue, and then showed it to the record label, and they were like, this is not a fucking B-side, this has to be its own single, let's put it on the I'm Breathless soundtrack.
But, like, at the fucking end.
So, well, because it doesn't fit stylistically at all with the album. And so what they did to try and make it seem less like a big red sore spot on this album was they did the Now I'm Following You Part 2 remix version of this cute little duet that she sang with Warren Beatty in the movie. And it definitely takes the big band sound and then it adds all of the like 90s like dance music, exactly, the boots and cats and the synths. And it also has a hilarious line towards the end of the part 2 where she's like, Dick Tracy? What kind of a name is Dick? And then, yeah, exactly.
My bottom's hurting just thinking about it.
That line. My favorite. I didn't even catch that the first time because I was just so mad that the song existed at all. And then the second time I listened to it, I was like, did they just sample her saying the word dick in the melody of this song?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
I can't.
Yes,
and so
they
it's just like the worst, the grossest, ham-fisted attempt to make Vogue not seem like a terrible fit on this album. And it doesn't work at all. In fact, it makes it even worse as an album. So yes, definitely I'm Breathless, number 12.
Number 12.
Yeah,
Breathless.
there we go. Fantastic.
We can move on now.
All right, yeah, speaking of now that we have that, though, what do we fucking move on to? I mean, are we on the death pass for True Blue? And you gotta keep in mind, Jericho, if some babies die along the way, I got my babies. They might die along the way. That's, you know.
I have my list.
And we'll go over that in the Happy Hour minisode that follows this, so I'm not worried about that.
I just think it was so influential. It's a change. Mm-hmm. It brought about Madonna, the reinventor. Because before that, we didn't see Madonna as, I'm going to be a person, you know what, I'm going to be that female that reinvents herself and I'm still going to fucking be here. I think True Blue deserves a lot more credit than we're giving it. That's my last plea.
Okay. I will let it go higher on the list if you can make a good argument for something else going at number 11.
Number 11.
Besides Madonna.
Besides self-titled. And if it's American Life.
Or maybe like, you know, bedtime stories.
You know, I would have said yes 2 days ago to that, but then I had a conversation with someone, and then I was just like, I like this better.
Okay, so before we talk about bedtime stories, if we're going to talk about bedtime stories, we need to talk about that 3-letter word. Everyone loves it. It's called sex. I'm not sure if you guys have tried it. It's pretty great. But here's the thing about sex, is that it's actually not an act. It's a book. I was referring to the book the entire time.
A coffee table book,
It's a coffee table book that
nonetheless.
Madonna put out and about sex. You got to keep in mind, following Like a Prayer, following all the things she did with Like a Virgin, clearly Madonna has a very good idea of what it takes to get media attention. Mm-hmm. And she also determined that sex is a great way to do it. But not just like sex, but like
Pornographic
actually like
sex.
right down there and like give the people what they want. And there will be those haters, there will be the decency police. They always are. We're recording this in 2016. It still exists to this day. Republican Party adopted pornography as a national health crisis and part of their platform for their nominee. It's a thing that happens. But here's the thing: is that like she knew that, and when she put out a coffee table book of her with various other people, including Vanilla Ice
And Naomi Campbell.
and Naomi Campbell, in this book of photos of them engaged in various acts and a lot of nudity. There was a soundtrack to go with it. I'm not saying erotica is the soundtrack to sex, but it was
Might as
very
well be.
clearly. Yeah.
No, the book came with a promo CD that had an early version of the song Erotica on it, called Erotic at the time.
Yeah.
It was definitely the soundtrack to the book. I don't think that's really even questionable.
Right.
Like, they go hand in hand.
Exactly. And so, also, but here's the thing: erotica should have been a fucking barnstormer of a motherfucking chart-topping hit.
Because it actually has some really great shit on it.
But
it
it-
also has some bad stuff.
Yeah,
of
but
course.
here's the thing: like tonally, it's one of those things where, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts too. Whenever you go to a strip club, people like talking about going to strip clubs. You know what's great about strip clubs? Not the boobies or the penis or any other thing that you could find. The naked
build.
parakeets. Exactly. It's not nudity is sexy. It's the hint of nudity that's sexy. It's always the tease of nudity, the promise of nudity that's always fascinating and just beguiling. And that's why when we talked about, and we had a discussion with our dear friend and guest on the very first podcast, Nick Shota, about it, about Janet Jackson. Here's someone who also, in that same vein, is someone who goes explicitly pornographic, including the time.
Oh my God.
Okay, real briefly, we need to talk about the time that I had All For You, the album, the one that came out around 2002, and we're in the CD, put it in the, it turns in the car, we have it in the CD player, and eventually it gets over to the point where we are just kind of like listening to it. I have to run into a bank or something, and then the CD's still going on. Taran's listening to whatever this track is on All For You,
And then so it's like this. It's a slow jam classic 2002 Janet Jackson. It has very explicit lyrics. And like to the point where I'm like, oh my God. And then at the end of the song, the record scratches. And she's like, oh, the song's over. I didn't even come. Did you? And it's like, what the fuck? Are you actually putting that?
What song was that?
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't
but
fucking- yeah.
she included that
It's
at
probably
the end.
Would You Mind?
And she includes it at the end. So it's not even like, you can't even use that song to have sex to. Like, you can't even use it for what its clearly intended purpose is, because she fucking ruins it at the end.
In me. Yeah.
yeah, and and the thing is, I talk about that because Madonna ran into that a little bit too.
Right, some of her songs are porn.
Yeah, and
Just to the point of being tacky.
Right,
Yeah,
To where
exactly.
it's just like, this isn't even good.
oh, and
Right.
the fucking Fever remake, the track 2.
Oh my God,
Oh,
so unnecessary.
I kind of like
No,
that
okay,
can't.
in the background.
No,
I'm
no.
not saying she should have won an Oscar for
The
it.
original song is a good song. Much like her awful cover of American Pie, she takes these classics and she just puts them into the cheesiest, terrible dance synth like packages and tries to present them to the world. And it's like, no, Madonna, stop. There's 14 songs on this album. You could have cut Fever and it still would have been long enough.
Yeah.
And that would have been okay.
That one definitely needed to be shaved down.
Right.
Because there are some gems on there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
Like,
correct.
Rain is brilliant.
We were
Oh
talking
my
about
gosh.
this. Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes.
Rain just puts me in a good place.
It's not even like
It's
great
like-
lyrically, but the vibe that emanates
just-
out of that, just
yeah,
this glow,
it's just
this
so
synthy glow.
incredibly pleasant, and I love that the verse, or not the verse, the bridge is a different poem in each ear.
Yeah, and it's
I think it's brilliant, and it
stylistically
totally
great.
works.
Yeah.
They've got some harmonies thanks to the wonderful background singers Donna DeLore and the other girl.
Oh yeah. And the
I
other
love
girl.
the other girl. She went on to have
She's
such a
great.
career.
She was, God, name escapes me. Just great. And then deeper and deeper, being
Oh,
like a
yeah.
repressed gay man that finally
Yeah.
discovers
And in that
himself.
same vein, to a lesser degree, but still, Secret Garden too.
Secret Garden, like I respect it, but I never want to listen to it.
Secret Garden doesn't do
And
it. Thank
then I made my boyfriend listen to this album just so he could like help me decipher. And I get a text in the middle of the day that is literally, what the fuck is where life begins? We don't need that many metaphors about someone eating your pussy. Like, I'll never eat Colonel Sanders again because y'all better not go and listen to this song. Let me tell you what it is.
Right.
She
Skip
goes,
that
you know what Colonel says, finger licking good. I was like, great, now it's juicy pussy. Thank you, Madonna. I don't need to hear this. And then the lyrics, get a raincoat because it's about Taran. And it's just like, what?
Yeah, no, it's really over the top. I've listened to it too many times this week, and every time I just like grow to loathe it even more.
Which is terrible because there's some decent
and it's
material
not
on
even
there.
like we're not sexually repressed people. We're totally fine with songs about eating pussy, but you took it too far. Like
I just need a hint.
I'm just saying that Yeezy loves my pussy best. That's what you guys need to know and understand.
we will get to holy water.
Know why I like that.
But bedtime stories
It's awful,
Right,
but
it's so
great.
bad, but it's so good.
from
Anyway,
'94 was almost like a deliberate counter-reaction
it was
to
a course correction.
It was because
She hired Babyface to write her Take a Bow because she's like, who has hits right now? Babyface is writing hits. He should write me a hit, and it worked. It's her longest running #1, and
Take
it's
a Bow,
such
7 weeks.
a garbage, terrible. It is
it
the
is.
epitome.
No, he's right.
It is
It's
the
like,
epitome of bad '90s balladry, and it's huge. Bad '90s balladry is still holds the records for longest running #1s,
Boyz II
highest
Men.
selling charts. Like
Mariah Carey.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Madonna hopped
like
on that
that song.
bandwagon. Oh my god, it's trash. It's garbage.
But then at the same time, this is the same album where she also is like, hey, I've heard this new Bjork person's interesting. Let's have her write.
Yeah.
And it's such a Bjork song.
It is!
Mikey knows Bjork inside and out, and B-sides and live editions. Saw her in concert 4 times. Like, it's weird how much she's even trying to sound like Bjork trying to speak English in the song. Like, today is the last day. It's like,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
you
sure.
from Detroit. You know how to fucking say these
I'm
words.
sure that she had much in the way that Rihanna's latest song literally sounds like Sia. Like she might as well not be singing it.
Sledgehammer
I'm
off the Star
sure.
Trek Beyond soundtrack.
I am sure that she had Bjork's vocals on a demo and learned to sing the song hearing Bjork. And so so that's going to bring out, even if she wouldn't normally sing it like that,
Yeah.
if all she had was lyrics and music, because she heard it, she's going to say it with those very specific little affectations. Even the way that she says, let's get unconscious, honey.
Yeah,
like
kind
the
of
way that she
halting.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
and the way honey is like, I don't know. It's
By
you're
the way,
totally right. Though.
I've been meaning to
Yeah.
ask a question, Jericho. You've listened to erotica recently, right?
Yeah.
So you listened to it.
Mhm.
Did you do it?
What?
Did you do it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
don't
did it.
even- like, why?
Oh yeah, okay. Speaking of songs that should have been cut from the album, it's literally and it was cut. It was cut on the CD release.
Because it's literally the other song.
It's literally the beat of Waiting with bad rapping.
Did you do it?
Yeah,
You know I did it.
Yeah.
You know I did it.
I put the seat drop and I hit it. And it was just like.
And then I
that's-
had to pull out because I thought I split it.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
yeah, no, it's.
And I like Waiting.
Yeah.
I like that Waiting's
Yeah.
almost like this teaser of trip hop with this kind of like spoken word poetry on top of it.
Yeah.
Because erotica has like that element to it that's like,
well-
I think this is cool. It's totally not radio ready.
Right, and then she
Well,
later
but that's the
perfected
thing.
that on Justify My Love.
No.
Yeah. No, Justify was
Oh, that's
first.
right, yeah.
That's the thing about this album is that because Justify My Love was a huge hit, and it's clearly like she was like, oh wait, that worked.
Justified 2.0.
Yeah, because listen,
Okay,
listen,
I can do
Justify
a whole
My
album of
Love,
this.
Justify
and
My
that's
Love
exactly what this
is not a hit song. I mean, the thing is that like you listen to it, it's this very sparse synth beat, drum
With-
beats,
and
her
fully
talking.
spoken word.
Right, almost completely. And yet that music video of her walking around an S&M convention in a hotel room, basically, like the people that got it buzzing, and
Ate
that
it up.
song went #1. That's
Yeah.
I think what, yeah.
It was
That's what
just
I'm
something
saying.
that you didn't hear, though. You didn't hear
Right.
people doing like, spoken
Well, I
word.
think it was like MTV actually, because Madonna still was controversy queen, and so MTV finally relented after seeing the video and being like, no.
We're banning this.
They actually was like, okay, we'll show it after 10 p.m., after
Mm-hmm.
Watershed, and most, when it's time for the creepies to be out, and, kids with boners. But they then finally the people got to see that video, and they got to see what the hubbub was about, and when you release a video album, like on VHS, which Madonna has done quite a few of, all of a sudden people are like, oh, let's see this video. It's again, that hint, that tease, because
Mm-hmm.
Justify My Love isn't horrendously explicit.
Compared to today's standards.
Yeah, and even
Right,
compared
totally.
to erotica,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, right. But that's, I mean, erotica would not have happened if Justify My Love had not been a hit.
Okay.
I think I can say that with pretty confidence.
What makes erotica lower than bedtime stories for me is it's such a slap in the face to give us deeper and deeper rain, waiting, why is it so hard? Where we're going to talk about
Right.
like fighting each other and trying to come together, and then give us where life begins. Did you do it? And just like
Girl.
in this
Fever.
and
Oh,
Bad
yeah,
Girl,
Bad
just
Girl.
like if we want to talk about bad vocals. I mean, good for you for bringing Christopher Walken in to be your guardian angel or whatever in the
Right.
video, but it wasn't enough to save it.
I like
Just
the
like-
songs.
Oh, this is where this could have been. Why
You're
is
right.
the
It
album
could've-
14 songs, and why did this like da 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 da? So that's what kind of like just to
See,
me.
Yeah, but I have them switched for me because erotica actually, like you said, it does some really fun things. And the first time I listened to it, I was just like, this album is crap. And I'm glad that I was able to discover
The good songs.
the positives of it. But then with bedtime stories, I mean, like Survival and Secret are like pretty good songs, I guess.
Maybe, potentially.
I
but-
really like Secret.
Oh, and I really like Human Nature, which is a
Yes.
huge, because I love that, because bedtime stories is clearly, it's like, there's no question that it's course correction. It is,
Oh, yeah.
I need to be commercial after what I did with erotica. And in fact, I read a quote from her from this era where she literally said in an interview, "I'm being good, I promise." Like, that's what she was saying to promote this
Which is
album.
something-
But that's
just-
what's
yeah.
great about Human Nature is again she's
exactly.
doing this course correction, but she's saying
She's
like,
like,
I still don't apologize
Like,
for that.
fuck you guys for
Like-
hating on that, because
Right.
it was great and it was like true to me. It was my art. And that's also it's just a fun song.
there's a radio version that just continues with the and I'm not sorry with the like harmonizing and everything in the background. But I love listening to the parental advisory version that says like, I'm not your bitch, don't hang your shit on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, you know what? I don't find this offensive. If you want to, in your white Christian suburban town, be offended by something that isn't missionary position, you and the Amish community deal with it.
What-
And it's not
Yeah.
Wait,
my...
guys, wait, hold on one second. Guys, I see it right now. There is a giant, evil, terrifying pink unicorn and an evil pink knight on it. It is the gay headhunter, guys. The gay headhunter has arrived, and he's demanding that we name the next 2 spots on the list for a weirdly specific reason. So just real quick, if we had our druthers, if we didn't have Madonna, what would you put
That was
on our number
the
11?
worst transition I've ever heard.
There is a reason.
Oh,
Because now that we've gotten into it a little bit.
Yeah.
both of those are always tied for me, but I think they
Totally.
deserve to be higher than 11, so I'm going to say Rebel Heart.
Oh, okay. That's not gonna happen. I'm telling you
Sorry.
right now.
Sorry, no.
Taran,
Stick with Madonna.
what do you put a pin in there?
I'm still sticking with True Blue. I think True Blue should be going here. It's either True Blue or Bedtime Stories.
All right. You know what? Just because we're at that point now, we're gonna go ahead. Let's lock it in. True Blue is now going to go down. And listen, we're going to hear about the
Jericho
Happy Hour
is-
minisode
Oh, don't cut
afterwards.
yourself.
Yeah, don't please don't. After all the things right there, but and after that, then you would say bedtime stories. Do you still think Rebel Heart would be the lower end of the spectrum on here?
Well, what bothers me about Rebel Heart, because with erotica and with bedtime stories, there's still like a togetherness. There's a beginning, there's an end, there's a fluidness, and that has stopped with Madonna after Confessions on a Dance Floor. the albums after that all have this split between them. There's this producer's songs and there's this producer's songs, but they don't feel completed.
But sometimes they coalesce in an interesting way, because like music is kind of all over the place, but music still feels like a statement of sorts. You know, like
music kind of works though, because it's like Diet Ray of Light American Life, because that's when she started to learn how to play the guitar, and we're getting some acoustics in there. But it's not like full on like I hate George Bush patent. But what Rebel Heart burns me with, in the way it burned me with Hard Candy, the hip hop thing doesn't work for her. She does not use that vernacular. She doesn't use the whole, like, she's using this hip hop African American grounded slang that a bitch doesn't use, and it just sounds awkward on her.
Okay, see, yeah, the thing is,
got my freak on. You don't say that, so it sounds wrong on you. And the other like the song "Sex" is just come on.
Well, yeah,
so
that's a bonus track.
Oh,
yeah.
I forget that they had the deluxe edition
and the super deluxe edition.
Yeah,
because I got the super deluxe.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. But see, the thing is, for me, I don't know if I am just like, I like it better because it's modern production. I mean, there are some bad songs on Rebel Heart for sure, but like the highs on Rebel Heart, like these are songs that I listened the fuck out of.
Oh yeah,
like,
agreed.
Living for Love is honest. Like I'm still mad that was not a hit single.
I 1000%
well,
agree.
she fucked herself over.
Why?
Because what happened is the leak happened. Oh, so she released those 4 songs.
Yeah.
Is just when you pre-ordering the album, so that didn't count towards sales for that specific song. Which is that's why people were doing it, because "Living for Love" is such a Madonna song. I woke up at 3 a.m, guys, because I felt it. And I just was curious, and I was just like, I'm just gonna check. And then she had released that, and I remember just sitting there in just complete awe, because we had 2 albums where 4 minutes was fine.
Yeah.
Give Me All Your Lovin' was trash. I was giving up hope that there was this enrooted, like, amazing Madonna hit, and Living for Love was just like, she still got it. That's an amazing song.
I 1000% agree.
I mean, wasn't Bitch I'm Madonna also in that pre-order?
No,
yes.
or was it?
No, it was.
No, okay.
So
yeah, it was.
It suffered from the same thing, and also, I mean, okay, full disclosure, I fucking love Bitch I'm Madonna.
Oh, I love it.
I think it's an amazing song. I'm also a huge Diplo fan. I also think that Nicki is on top form on that track. I love her verse. It suffers from the leak because it isn't finished. It is, you can tell that Madonna rushed to master it before she put it out. The levels are really off, and you can hear that across this album. So it definitely suffers from that, but it's important to mention that there's a reason for that. But my favorite song on Rebel Heart is going to surprise some people. It's actually Body Shop.
I love Body Shop.
Annie DeFranco-esque acoustic number.
Well, I love it that it's that. Yeah. It sounds kind of indie-y, but I just honestly love the metaphors.
I also love that she brings back her Indian influence. Like that song makes full use of the tabla and like the very classic, the traditional Indian vocals in the background.
It doesn't feel like tourism though. It feels fully integrated.
It feels totally like she was like, I want to do this right, and I love that song, and so that's why Rebel Heart is gonna be in the bottom half for sure. But it's
definitely the best album in the past, like,
decade.
It's her best album in the past decade.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. It's definitely the best late stage Madonna album.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so,
well, it's because she put everything she flippin' had into it when she didn't. With
and it
MDNA.
totally pays off. Yeah. Like even like things that are maybe a little weaker.
Holy Water.
Like. Well, okay, so Holy Water. I love it. Let's talk about Holy Water because it does include the line "Yeezy loves my pussy best"
And bitch, get off my pole.
and "Bitch, get off my
Get
pole,"
off my pole.
and it's so trashy and it's so good.
It's so cool.
That beat
So-
just gets
It
me.
gets me, and I just like it's terrible, but I love it. As I'm gonna say a bunch of times across this podcast, but I also think "Iconic" is pretty
Not
fun.
for, and I love Chance the Rapper, and him and Mike Tyson are on it, but her verse, her self-referencing
yeah.
verse about her own career is actually pretty great.
Actually, I think that's on Veni Vidi Vici.
I'm so sorry, you're thinking about the right thing. Right, I do love her verse on that one. I was getting them mixed up. But I also want to talk about her verse on Veni Vidi Vici, because the fact that she references herself sometimes really cheekily and really stupidly, and weirdly enough on that song it feels valid.
Right, like, I think at 3 different points in her career, she uses lines from Vogue.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, thrown in there towards the end.
Deeper,
and you're
deeper.
like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't, those were the parts of the album that I didn't care for, because, like, Iconic is fine, and Veni Vidi Vici, or whatever it's called, is fine, but it doesn't fit for her, for me.
So,
Like,
here's my...
are you saying that she's not iconic?
she definitely is.
I don't know. Name a single Madonna song.
I needed the chorus to go up instead of this down. Like, it builds up and then it goes iconic, dun, 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 dun. Like, it has this down when I needed it to go up.
Also Illuminati. That weighs it down. But briefly,
Both of those songs
crazy
sound too
idea.
similar.
Crazy idea. Number 10.
Number 10. Yeah, sorry.
And here's my crazy idea. Number 10. Erotica.
I will go with 10 erotica.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that.
Okay, and listen, guys, I don't know if you know this entire time, the gay headhunter has been breathing down my neck. We've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes by our thing. We're
can
going
cut
to do
this down. We
something
can cut this
we've
down.
never done before in Chartographers history. That was the end of part 1. Just now. Because, guys, listen, we are 10 albums in, we have 9 to
And
go.
we've talked about a bunch.
We've talked about a bunch. There's still a lot more to go. So all I can say is that right now, for those recapping, because I don't want to recap it in part 2, number 14 is Hard Candy, number 13 is MDNA, number 12 is I'm Breathless, number 11 is True Blue, number 10 is Erotica, and for the rest, part 2's coming right up. So please keep on listening. In the
And by
meantime,
right up, we mean next week, unless you're listening to this later, and
it's right after.
and then actually, if you're on SoundCloud, you already listened to it. But
But more importantly, though, before we get to part 2, I do want to say thank you, Jericho, for being here for part
Always.
1. I appreciate it. We won't recast you in part 2, I promise. Taran, thank you so much. It's actually been, I love this discussion,
Yeah.
and we're going to keep
We're
having
getting
it.
in deep.
So in the meantime, bitches, get off our poles. We're going to see you in part 2. Keep listening, because you know that we'll be Chartographers. See you in a bit. Bye! Yes, queen.
Yes.
Butch Queen.
Yes.
Butch Queen.
All right, cool. Fantastic.
Out.